Hello, I'm Maurice Ashley with Jennifer Shahade, women's grandmaster, poker champion, author, commentator, and now artist. You've got chess, you've got poker, but you're also an author. You write quite a bit. You've written a couple of books. Tell us about that.
Actually, one of the books I wrote was the inspiration for this piece in a lot of ways. I wrote The Art of Chess with Francis Naumann and Bradley Bailey about Marcel Duchamp's chess career. Because not only was he considered by many to be the most influential artist in the 20th century, he's also a chess master. And so we did an analysis of his games and kind of the relationships between his art and his chess. And that's when Daniel and I came up with the concept of reversing this famous photograph of Marcel Duchamp playing against Eve Babitz. She was a 20-year-old at the time in LA and kind of like a socialite and writer and artist. And they played this chess match and she was naked and he was fully clothed. So we twisted that and I played against a naked man for this piece.
Have you been interested in art all your life?
Not all my life. I think what really got me interested in it, actually my first C I think was in art. I got a C in art because I'm not very good at actually drawing. And you know, at some point you think that's art when you're a little kid. A lot of times you think like drawing and painting, that's art. And so later I realized that, hey, chess can be art, concept can be art. And that also is a big thing for Marcel Duchamp, coming up with like a concept or an idea that other people hadn't come up with. It's not all about you can have, obviously you need some technical expertise, but that can be in photography and film in all sorts of different ways. It doesn't have to be doing a good job of drawing a face, which still not very good.
You're also a strong advocate of women issues, female issues. Is it important to you that you yourself are represented in the art? The fact that it's you playing against a naked man, which is sort of the reverse of what might be in some people's minds, and also the fact that you're the one who wins the game.
Yeah, I think that is, I mean, obviously the deck was stacked in my favor in that I wasn't playing against another chess master or chess champion, but yeah, that was also the case with Marcel Duchamp. He was playing against a young woman who had never really played chess before, so he mated her quite quickly, and it was pretty fun. It was really a fun piece because so many different artists through the years have recreated that piece, but we were the first ones to recreate it so that the woman was the clothed one.
I know you're also part of Nine Queens. You were one of the founders of the Nine Queens organization that initial mission at least was to promote chess among young girls. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Nine Queens is an organization I co-founded with Jean Hoffman, who's actually now the executive director of the U.S. Chess Federation. So that right there is kind of a microcosm of what we're going after, getting more women in positions of power and influence in chess, not just at the board, but also in the organizations, because I think that also speaks to young women.
Why don't you speak to that mission? We do know that there is a dearth of female participation in chess. The numbers speak for themselves. Far more men at the higher ranks. Girls are leaving the game, particularly around the age of 13, 14.
Exactly.
What do we need to do to promote the participation of young women in chess?
I really think being positive and focusing on the positive. So looking at the girls and the women who are successful and who do play. For instance, we have Ho Yifan here right now playing against a mini match against Parimarjan Negi. And then here at Ladies Night, we have all these female artists who have different degrees of involvement in chess, but all clearly have a passion for the game. So I think shining a light on those things so that women and girls across the world can kind of see that is really important. Sometimes you get bored of having conversations about, biology versus nurture, and you just want to watch Yifan checkmate someone, which we've been doing the last few days.
So on a personal level, is it disturbing to see this continue? It's been a number of years that this topic has been discussed, brought up, dissected, controversial statements by Nigel Short about women's capacity in chess. For you personally, how much does it disturb you and how much does that drive you to want to continue to make change?
It is disturbing to see the kind of circular nature of some of the conversations. That's why I want to get out of the conversations and see concrete results. And I do think we've seen some, honestly. I really think there's been some progress. I mean, not just at the top, but I see more girls and women playing, and there are statistics that are showing in the U.S. Chess Federation that the numbers are getting better. Not as good as I'd like them to be, but they're certainly slowly crawling.
Back to your career as an artist, are we going to see more art from Jen Shahade in the near future?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's all about getting inspired and coming up with a good idea. Luckily, that's why I think a lot of times, I mentioned the other day in my talk that I think chess players are actually great writers on average. A lot of times they have no writing training, but you ask them to write an article or annotate a game, and suddenly it's just amazing what comes out of them. Bobby Fischer's Memorable Games is a great example of that. I mean, who knew that the world chess champion and this legend could also write in such a lucid manner? Similarly, I think that for me, partly because I'm not a professional artist, it's not like my main thing, I have the luxury of like, when we have an idea, that's when we do something. It's not like I'm forced to like churn things out every month. So with hula chess or with naked chess, it was just like, this hasn't been done before, oh my God, we have to do it now. And I think that continues to drive me, that concept. So we have a piece in Ladies' Night by YUKO SUGA. It's a chess set that imagines the situation in Ferguson. And I know you've been instrumental in bringing chess to Ferguson schools, which is a new chess club initiative.
The idea is just to bring chess to an area that may be underserved. It really is not connected to anything beyond that. It's kids who really should have chess. It's in all 20 schools, middle schools and elementary schools in Ferguson. And it's a very powerful program bringing chess to young people. We do see a tremendous number of girls in that program. It's virtually 50-50 in fact, because it's on that level of the younger kids, as often happens. When you get to the late middle school and high school age, you start to see the girls leave the game somewhat, much more so. But at the younger levels, you do see a tremendous amount of participation in girls, and it's great to see. It's great. It's wonderful. Indeed. Well, thank you so much for your insights and sharing your passions with us. Women's Grandmaster Jennifer Shahade, multi-talented in many ways, and her art is gracing the World Chess Hall of Fame at Ladies' Night.
Ladies' Night.